Hi babes, it's Avlana Fontaine. I'm your go-to YouTuber, the manifestation queen, and I'm here today with a more kind of like a rambly type of manifestation. I've had a few comments about a situation. I'm not sure if I want to like include the print screens of the conversation, because even though it was on like in the comments and that's kind of public, I don't want to like expose someone. The situation was about an SP who blocked someone. So someone who's manifesting an SP and they got blocked and they wanted to get unblocked. Okay? Which that in itself I mean, there's a lot to say about circumstances, but in the end, circumstances do not really matter. So, if you're going to go to like the core of what you need to do, it's just persisting that your SP already likes you. If you're really struggling with the specific circumstance and you really want to focus on changing the circumstance, then do so. I mean, I made a affirmation tape for this person that was specifically about getting unblocked by the SP and also the SP getting in contact. Now, the issue was in this specific case that I'm assuming, even though they were listening to the tape, they got blocked on another platform or another account, or I don't know. This especially is where circumstances do not matter, okay? Where you need to ignore whatever is happening in the 3D. Sure, it might not have been the movement you wanted, but there was movement. Something happened. And for some people, it does happen that way. For some people, you move backward first before you move forward. And I'm not saying that that is always the case, because I don't believe it is. But when it happens, there's no need to panic. Even though I fully understand why you would. Even with my own manifesting journey, I was manifesting followers, and in the beginning, like the first few days, I was gaining followers, and then like 4 days in or something, I suddenly lost a few, and I panicked about that. And we shouldn't, but we also need to acknowledge that sometimes you're gonna. Sometimes something sets you off and you accidentally go into a rant, or you're like, oh my god, everything is going bad. Nothing is going the way I want it to. That is okay. As long as we acknowledge that we did that we are doing that, and we can flip it, that is okay. We don't always have to panic about like not doing the right thing, because you're not ruining your manifestation. The only thing that you could do is slowing it down, or have some mixed things show up at first. But when it comes to like the end result, you cannot fuck it up as long as you keep going. And that is very important to realize, important to know. Because sometimes we just get worried because we haven't seen what we want yet. But as long as you're consistent in the positive aspect, so I'm not saying listen to my affirmation tape and then go right back to being like, oh my god, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, I'm blocked, he blocked me. If you do that, no, that's not gonna be beneficial, right? But as long as you are persisting and you're saying, you know what? No, my SB is absolutely obsessed with me. I'm the only one for them. They cannot wait to be in contact with me. And you keep things like that on the front of your mind. Like, he's texting me every day, he tells me the things that I want to hear. As long as you keep those kind of thoughts at the forefront of your mind, because I will say this, I make a lot of subliminals, I make a lot of affirmation tapes. Do they help? Yeah, absolutely. Do they all the work for you? For some people, maybe. Most people, no. The thing is, it is so important how you think. You always have to consider how you think, how you are thinking, what your thought patterns are. So, yes, An affirmation tape will help. Subliminals will help. They help especially subliminals help especially if you keep affirming at the same time. As long as you put in some work to discipline yourself, to not allow yourself to spiral. And like I said before, spiraling once or twice, not horrible. Especially if you notice it and you just flip it around when you start noticing it. And you might not be able to do that right away. You need to learn how to do that. Okay, you need to learn how to recognize that you are spiraling and that you are entertaining the old story. And you need to discipline yourself to be like, okay, we're not going to do that anymore. And especially if you're in an anxious energy, you might be really used to entertain that. And it might even feel strangely good to entertain that just because that's what you're used to. That's your comfortable energy, right? No. Step out of that comfort zone and start saying the positive thing. Just start saying the positive thing and do not stop until it's here, because if you persist, it will show up. Honestly, if it does not show up in at least movement, at least significant movement, if that doesn't show up in a month, you are doing something wrong. And that's not to blame you or to point a finger and to be mean. It's just to make you realize, hey, there's something that I still need to do different. And some of the the tools that are really important when it comes to staying calm and mastering your thoughts are self-concept, self-regulation, sitting with yourself, right? And just seeing what kind of thought patterns you have, getting to know yourself and doing something about the things that you don't like to see. Now, for this specific person, and I know that there will be other people listening to this that have different circumstances, but I'm pretty sure that there are more people that have similar types of circumstances. So just listen to it and try to apply it to your own situation, okay? This person told me that 5 months after they were blocked, they now got blocked on another platform. And I think that happened after they consistently listened to my affirmation tape. The thing is, it's not the affirmation tape that is doing that. It is still a type of belief that you have. So either you've been worried that maybe you'd not be unblocked, or maybe you've been focusing on the blocked thing, and that is what is showing up. Or it's just kind of that way that your mind sometimes protects you. Especially because this is a situation where they got blocked 5 months ago. So if you already got blocked 5 months ago, you've been in that state for 5 months. The idea of, I got blocked, I got blocked, I got blocked. This is now your dominant state. This is the thing that you are so sure of. You're so sure that this is reality, that you are blocked. So that is showing up. That is what your subconscious sees as your reality right now. And it might protect you by trying to fight what you're manifesting and showing you the opposite of what you actually want to manifest. However, that is temporary. That is absolutely temporary. It happens to some people. It happens sometimes. I'm not entirely sure to who it does happen, who it doesn't happen to, and what exactly makes that show up in that way. That's just unique for every person. I cannot look in your head and see every thought that you think, and I cannot see all your circumstances, right? But in the end, the circumstances don't matter, because one way or another, it will show up the way that you want to, but you need to keep persisting, especially when you see something like this. Because first of all, there's movement. You're gonna tell me that they didn't block you on that other platform 5 months ago, but they suddenly did? That means they're thinking of you. That means it's working. It's working, okay? They're just not doing exactly what you want them to do yet. But movement is there. They are thinking of you. There is something happening. So just keep persisting. Keep persisting, keep being positive, keep saying the thing that you want. And actually, even though I will never say like, oh, do not listen to this or do not use this kind of affirmation. I mean, I can advise against something, but I will always let you choose your own affirmations, right? I will always let you make those decisions for yourself. However, when it comes to this specific thing, like, oh, they unblock me, personally, I'm still like, but you're thinking about being blocked and not wanting to be blocked. Maybe skip ahead to my person is reaching out to me. And I will make an affirmation tape for this too, by the way. Especially for the person that actually had this conversation with me. I will be adding an affirmation tape like that. I'm not entirely sure when, but somewhere soon. Because personally, this is just my personal belief that it might be better to skip ahead to the exact situation that you want. And being unblocked is not your end situation. Your situation is being in contact, right? That's what you want. So I also got another comment from this person about how they met someone who has the same zodiac sign and is the same age, and that it confuses them. And I don't know any context, so I wasn't entirely sure how to incorporate this, but I'm just going to say what I'm thinking when I read something like this, right? There are two different types of scenarios here. First of all, it could be that you are manifesting like people into your life that are like this person, right? So someone who has the same zodiac sign, the same age, someone who has some qualities that you really like about this person, and that could come in, or that you're thinking about. Will that confuse you on why this person is coming in instead of the person that you want? Maybe. If that is the case, I just say it's just another like bird before land type of thing, you know? And bird before land isn't needed, but I guess it shows up sometimes. You can just ignore this and be like, or instead of ignoring it, acknowledge it and be like, hey, I manifested someone like the person I'm actually manifesting, which is another step, and proof that the universe or God or whatever you believe in is hearing me and is doing these things for me. I got movement again. Maybe not the exact movement I wanted yet, but I got movement again. Just count it as a win. Honestly, whenever something happens that's remotely going the way you want, count it as a win. You know why? If you count all those steps as a win and you go like, hey, I manifested something again. See, it's working. See, it's working. You're just helping yourself along, okay? You're making it easier for your mind. Now, the other situation is you might be confused about, what if I'm not supposed to be with my SB and this person comes in and the sign is that they have the same zodiac sign and the same age, and maybe I'm supposed to be with that person. Sure, could be. But I'm going to say it like this. If you're open to that, and if you're maybe willing to explore something like that, go ahead. That is your choice. But if you're dead set on your SB, like the original person, and you're like, no, I want this SB, I want this person, then do not get distracted. Just let it go. Let it go. Just keep on affirming what it is that you want to affirm. And I'm in no way saying that you cannot go on dates or that you cannot meet other people while you're manifesting your SB. Those two have basically nothing to do with each other. I say nothing, but that's not entirely true, because if you're going on dates, only if you want, but if you're going on dates with someone else and that person is treating you the exact way you want to be treated, but you still want your SB, that is still a good manifestation, because you did kind of like bring in being treated that way. And it's only one step removed from your SB treating you that way. So once again, I'm not saying go on a date, but if you want to go on a date, go on a date. Like it doesn't matter. It's playful, okay? Everything can be playful. Anything gets to be playful. We don't have to be too serious about everything and think that if we do one action that you might mess something up. You're not messing something up. Just keep affirming. And if anything, something that I've been learning in the past few weeks is to just keep on moving forward, just to take action. And I don't mean take action as in go write them an email, go send them something, go try to manifest it. That's not what I mean. With take action, I just mean keep living your life. And whenever something comes up, just do it. So if you get invited for a date and you think, I actually want to go, but I'm trying to manifest my SP, whatever, just go on that date. It might spark some feelings that you need to have, right? And I'm using a date as an example, but there are so many things. Like, do not stop living your life. If anything, live it even more. Like, do your best to do whatever it is that you want. Do your best to live your best life. And while you're living your best life, you can affirm for the thing that it is that you want, and it will roll in, okay? Now, I'm going to say this again. If you do affirmation tapes and you affirm yourself, and after 3 weeks, 4 weeks, still nothing changed at all, like you don't see any positive signs at all, you're either not using the right affirmation, or I suppose the right method for you, because some people just don't resonate with affirming or don't resonate with sats or whatever, right? Like, sure, you can change a method if it isn't working for you, but the method isn't the thing that manifests for you. It just makes it easier for you to keep the repetition going. That's all it is. That's all a method is. The only thing you actually have to do is like be repetitive. But if you do not see any improvement, something is just not right with what you're doing in that moment. And especially, I'm going to say this right now. If this person blocked you 5 months ago, I don't know what you've been doing those 5 months. There's no blame. We cannot blame the past. We shouldn't do that. The past is the past. It happened, whatever. We are in the now. So start with a clean slate. Don't say to yourself, oh, it's been 5 months already. Just say, you know what? I am now starting to manifest my SB. We're starting today, and we're just going to keep something going. Like if it's, I'm just going to give the example of using affirmations just because that's easier to explain right now. But whatever method you're using, keep doing it and make sure that you're flipping the thoughts when you're negative about them. Do not get frustrated when you forget to do that, or when you notice that you actually did affirm for the thing you didn't want a little bit too much today, because it is going to take a little bit of time for you to get used to it. Right now, your automatic pilot is on the, oh, I am blocked. Oh, I am not desired. I am not in contact with my SP. So it's natural that that is going to come up, and you're changing that type of thought pattern. So the only thing that you need to do is to keep being consistent. And if in the first few days you keep thinking against it, just do your best to flip the thought. Do your best to keep thinking about the thing that it is that you want. And do not waste any time whatsoever being angry or frustrated with yourself. If anything, just be kind to yourself. Give yourself grace and be like, oh, oopsie, that was just an oopsie. Let's keep going. And when you start to do that, it's going to become easier and easier and easier to think from the perspective that you actually want. Which is why it shouldn't take more than like 4 weeks. And maybe for some people, after 4 weeks, you don't have the full manifestation, but you should be well on the way there. If you do not see significant growth, something is wrong. If you don't see significant growth, something is wrong. So 3 weeks, 4 weeks, consistency, especially after 3 weeks. For a lot of people, 2 weeks actually, but let's say 3 weeks of consistently changing your thought, you should notice that you are automatically thinking your positive thought. And if you're not automatically thinking your positive thought most of the day, you haven't been consistent enough. That's really something that gives it away. If you're 3 weeks into your process, how much do you believe it at that point? Or not even believe, because sometimes we don't believe until it fully comes in. But how much is this the dominant thing that you're thinking? It needs to have flipped. The skill needs to have flipped by that point. So that's all that I wanted to say. I have been rambling a lot. I know that I've been repeating a lot too, but I think it's important. If there is any other question that anyone has about this topic, then please leave it down below. I'll try to see if I can get to it, or maybe make a video on it specifically if it's a broad enough topic. I hope this helped. You can absolutely get anything as long as you stay consistent, because this is your reality and you are in control. So take that control. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for liking and subscribing, and I will see you in another video. Okay, bye bye.